Hello everyone, in this video we're going to attempt the latest front-end mentor challenge, which is the NFT preview card component. So let's go ahead and download the files necessary. Start challenge. And we can just say download starter. Okay, and it should download the zip file for me. There we go. So let me get it. It is the NFT preview card component. So I'm just going to extract this folder here. And then I'm going to open up this folder in VS Code. So open with code. And we should get started. We're going to be building this using HTML and CSS because it's basically just simple UI. Okay. So this is what we have. Now I'm going to be using an extension called Live Server. So you can go ahead and install it. The extension is this one right here. It launches a local server with live reload, which is why I love it, because you don't have to keep on manually reloading every time you make a change. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's see what we have in the index.html. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to say open with live server right there. Okay, so this is what we have currently. I'm going to place this to the right and then place this to the left. And we should get started by first checking our design. Let's see what we have in the design. We have the desktop preview and the mobile design. Let's see what we have. Okay, so it looks very simple enough. So we have a background color. We have the background color for the card. We have this image, and then we have the text, which is white. Which is just slightly gray. This is green. This is also the same as this. And then we have an image with a border right here. So that's what we're going to be doing. And now I've just noticed that we're going to need to get some fonts here. So let me check what we have in our style guide markdown file. And these are the primary colors and the neutral colors. And then font size is 18 pixels and the family is called outfit. And we need the 300, 400, and 600 font widths. So let's go ahead and grab this in fonts.google.com. So just open this link. And then before I actually open that link, I want to create a styles.css inside here where we're going to be importing our font. And then what I want to do is just copy all of these colors from here, copy them and then paste them inside here because these are going to be our variables. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab the 300, the 400, and the 600, and then we're just going to import them. So copy this and then we can paste them on top of this. There we go. And then now we'll need to specify that the body should have a font family of outfit with a font back of sans serif. This is a small u. There we go. Okay, and actually let's specify the font size as well to 18 pixels, just so it's uniform all around. And then we can begin creating our variables. So I'm going to say full colon root, and then just grab all of this and push it upwards, and then I can replace this to be a comment. So this is called soft blue, so dash dash soft blue. That's how you add comments in CSS. Not comments, sorry, but variables with 2 dashes. This is called cyan. This is called main bg, so main dash bg. This is called card bg, so card dash bg. This is the line, and this is white. Okay, so there we go. We should remember to add our semicolons as well, otherwise the variables don't reflect. And there we go. So let's save this for now, and then let's link our CSS file so that we can begin building this out. So let's go ahead into index.html. Okay, and then actually I can remove this as well. So cut this out, and I'm going to paste it right here because this is the attribution, which is this text right here. And then I'm going to change this to 12 pixels just to make it a bit bigger. And actually it doesn't reload because I haven't linked my CSS file, so remember to do that. So link, and then we're going to say style.css, styles.css, and there we go. So our text changes. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's check our desktop preview. Actually, you know what, I want the mobile preview because it's much more visible. So we have the image on top, so let me get the image, and the image should be this one, equilibrium. Okay, so in index.html I'm going to just grab all of this, and actually it's only this. So I'm going to paste this inside a div with a class of container, and then paste this in. Okay, so the body is going to have a dark background color, and then the container is going to be our slightly light background color, this one right here. and then the container is the one that is going to house this image and then the text. Okay, so we need the image first of all, so let me place this inside an article and then add the image. So image is coming from /images and it's called equilibrium. Okay, and then let me place another article, and this article is going to have an h2 that says what? Let me move this here. So an h2 that says equilibrium, this, and then below this is a paragraph that says this. Cut it out and paste it inside here, and then we have this text. Okay, so this I'm going to place it inside a UL, and this UL is going to have two list items. So the first list item is going to say this, and then the second one is going to say 3 days left. Okay, and I think they have images. Yeah, they do have images. Okay, and then below this we're going to have, okay, so below this is where the line comes in, right? The line comes in and then this text. Okay, so for this text we're going to have a div, and you know what, I've been using articles. Let me use article as well, just so you remain uniform. And this is not inside here, sorry, excuse me. So let me do it outside of this article. So article, and we're going to have an image, right? So we're going to have an image that comes from /images, and it's called the avatar. And then this is going to be a paragraph with the text that says creation of Jules Wyvern. Okay, and then just to change this text a bit, coded by, I'm going to place my name here and then link my website, https://netlify.app. Okay, that should be almost correct, except we don't have these two images. So let me just check what these images are called: Ethereum and clock. Okay, so this first one is going to say img./images/Ethereum, and then this second one is going to say img./images/clock. And I'm using Emmet, that's why I'm able to type in shorthands, and then it just places the code inside for me. Emmet comes pre-installed with VS Code. Okay, so let's save this and let's see what we have. And looking almost amazing. Okay, so let's begin styling this out. Should be easy enough. Let's begin by going inside our CSS, and then let's just target the all selector, and then let's reset the margin to 0, the padding to 0, and the box sizing, set this to border box. Okay, and just in case you're wondering, the reason why you need to reset this is because of this slight margins that we have on the left and right and on the top and bottom. So when we set this to 0, then it's going to remove this slight space, and then it's also going to remove these margins that we have on headers and on paragraphs. And then the padding is going to remove things such as this left padding that we have on list items, which is around 30 pixels. Okay, and the border box, what it does is that it just tells the document that padding should be placed on inside of the elements and margins should be placed on the outsides. That's the CSS box model, so that's why it's important to specify this as well. Okay, and then let's just say that for all the images, the max width should be 100%. You might have noticed that we have a horizontal scroll bar that is being caused by this image, but when we set this to 100%, then it will make sure that it will always fit into the container of the device that you're viewing it on. Okay, and then actually let me take this from here and let me place it here. And then let me target the ULs, and then let's just say list style type to be none. Okay, to remove these two bullets that we have inside here, and that should be fine. So let's save this, and we have that looking fantastic. Now on the body, we need to specify a background color, which is called main BG. So background color, main BG, there we go. And then the color for this should probably be, which text is it? The text is white. Let me just confirm. This text is white, but it has a slight opacity. So let's do this. Let me say, let me grab this, copy this here, and then let me add an opacity of 75%. That is going to be for the text. Actually, let me say 60. Let's say 60. Okay, and then for the paragraphs, what I want to do is the font weight. Font weight is going to be 300, so very light. There we go. Let me just confirm. Okay, and then this is just a bit bold, which is 400, and then this now is 600. Okay, looking amazing, looking amazing. So the next thing that we do need to do is actually let me go inside the body. Actually, no, not inside the body, sorry, add a space here. Let me go inside the container, And then for the container, let me have a padding of, let me say 1.25 rems. Okay. And then the container is going to have a background color of, what was it? Card BG. Yes, card BG. There we go. And then let's go inside the body, give this a padding of 1.25 rem as well. 1.25 rem. And actually, you know what? Wait. Yeah, that's actually correct. That's correct. And then let's have a border radius. So border radius of 0. Let's say 0.1 rem. Let me see how that looks. Sorry, not the body, but of the container. Move this downwards. Let's say 0.5. That's much more manageable. Okay, fantastic. Now let's go ahead and let's get this h2. Okay, so the container h2, so container h2 is going to have a color of white. Make it white. Let's say margin of 1 rem at the bottom, sorry, 1 rem on the top and 0.5 rem on the right and on the left. Wait, what am I doing? This is margin top, this is right, so bottom should also be 0.5 rem. Yeah, there we go. And then 0 on the left, because I don't want this left side to have a margin. There we go. Fantastic. Fantastical. Okay, let's go ahead and grab this UL. So the container UL. Okay, and what I want to do for this UL is I just want to say display flex, underline item center, and justify content to space between. Take it to the left and right. Okay, then let's have a padding of 1 rem at the top and bottom and 0 on the left and right. Let's say 2 rem. Okay, and then let's have border bottom of 1 pixel solid and dash line to be the color. Let's say var dash line. There we go. So that we introduced this line, looking amazing, looking amazing. And then we need to change this text to be green, right? So we can do that by just saying that container UL, and with what I get the list item, which is the first list item, so first child. Okay, first child, and we just want to change the color to, I think it's cyan. Let's just confirm that. Yeah, there we go, it's cyan. Okay, so save that, and there we go. Look at that, looking fantastic, isn't it? And notice how this image is, the image and the text isn't really that aligned. You'd have to zoom in just a bit to look at it, but you know, once you've done it this long enough, then you can just look at it and you can tell. So let's fix that by saying the container ULLI, and then let's say display flex, and notice now they're kind of aligned. Now they're just, the image is just stretched out, right? But I want to say align item center so that the image is no longer stretched out, and now they're perfectly to the center. And then what I want to do is, let's say let's target the container ULLI IMG, so this slide image, and then let's say margin right of 0.2 rem. There we go. No, let's say 0.3 rem, 0.5. Yeah, that's much better. And then let me grab this and move this to the bottom. There we go, looking fantastic. Okay, so let's go ahead and start this article finally. And for this article, I would need to give this a class name so that I can target it. So class name, sorry, this is class, no longer React. Okay, so this is a class of, let's say, avatar. Now technically I could just use the pseudo class names as I've just done here, but I don't want to do that because sometimes it becomes confusing. So avatar, let's go ahead and target the container with the class of avatar, like so, and then let's say display flex. Okay, and the align item center and justify content to the center. So not to the center, but to start, right? Because this is aligned to the left, isn't it? Yeah, this is aligned to the left, this is not to the right. Okay, and then let's go ahead and grab the image. So container avatar image, container avatar img. Let's say the width for this should be about 2 rem. Let's see how this looks. Nope, let's say 5. How much is 5? Let's say 4. And then let's have a border of 1 pixel solid and white, like so. And then let's have a border radius of 50%, make it rounded. Fantastic. Now let me make this 2 pixels just so it's more visible. And then for the container avatar class, what I want to do is have a padding top of, what did I have on this UL? I had a padding top of 2 rem. Let's replicate that here. So padding top of 2 rem. Okay, so padding top, and of course you can use margin top as well if you want. You can say margin top and it still works. I just prefer using padding because this is my border. And then let's go ahead and let's go into this. You know what, this image is still looking a bit big, so let's say 3 rem. Let's say 3.5. okay, and then let's say margin right of 0.5 rem. No, let's say margin right of 1 rem. Okay, so that we're going to have this. Now we can target this text, and this text is inside the paragraph. So let me get this to be a span, so that I can change the color of the span to white, because the color is white inside here. So let's go ahead and say dot container dot avatar. Let's target the paragraph and let's target the span, and then let's change the color to white. And there we go. And probably the font weight as well. So font weight to 400. There we go. Just so that it's a bit more bold than the rest of it. And would you look at that, we have this already. Now technically this works, but when you scale it up, look at what happens. We do not want this to happen. We just want to limit it just a bit, right? So what I'm going to do is, let's first of all go inside this container. So let's go inside this container, and then let's say margin bottom of 1 rem. Okay, just push away this text a bit, and you know what, let me change this to 16 pixels, make it a bit bigger so it's more readable. Didn't need to do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's begin adding our media queries to make it responsive. So I'm going to say add media for a min width of 500 pixels. Oops. What I want to do is target the container class and give this container a width of 450 pixels. Let's see how this looks. Let's see, look at that. Okay, so I'm already at 500 pixels as my screen is right now, right? So if I try to scale it up, look at what happens. Now it remains the same with the same width, right? But technically we don't want this to happen because we want this to move to the middle, right? So let me see if this will work. So margin of auto. Okay, pushes it back to the center. And then now what we need to do is, I just want to say, you know what, not margin auto, I want margin of 0 on the top, and then auto on the left and right. We should push it to the center, and then 1 rem on the bottom, which will push this text downwards as it was before. And technically this works, although I would like to show you something else that you can do. Okay, something else that you can do is this. Okay, you can remove this. Okay, and then you can say, let's see, you can target the body, right? And then you can say for the body, display flex, align item center, justify content center, and then with the flex direction of column, and then you can set the height to 100 viewport heights, and this will still do this. But technically the reason why I don't like doing this, as you can tell, is that it does something that is hard to explain. Notice how I can scroll to the bottom. Now even though the container starts right here, that you can tell that this is the container, if I keep on adding more and more content, then this is going to keep on pushing upwards and you won't be able to see the image. So what I mean is this: if I just go right inside here and add a paragraph that says Lauren 500, look at this, look at that. Now look at what happens. Now you can see that there is kind of a mistake here, right? Now that's why I don't like doing that. And in order to fix this, then you can add a margin on the top, so that there's always going to be some margin on the top, but that's a bit of a hassle that I really don't want to get into. Okay, so let's remove this, and then let's go ahead and remove this as well. Okay, so this is just another way to center your divs. By the way, this is a way to center your items if you want to know about it. And then let's bring this back in, and there we go. So this is our preview card component, but let me just confirm something. Is this complete? Where's the preview? Active states. Okay, so we need this active state. Okay, so let's add the active states. So we need the active states on the h2, on the image, and on this text. Okay, so let's go where we had our span, and let's grab this, and then let's say for the span hover, then we want the color to go to cyan, like so. Okay, and then we want the cursor to be pointer, so cursor pointer. There we go. Fantastic. Let's target the h2, so that the h2 is right here copy this. Let's target the hover and set this color to cyan. Let's set the cursor to pointer. There we go, looking fantastic. And then we need to add the same thing on the image. Now for the image, this might be a bit different. Where's the image? Didn't I style the image? I did not. Okay, so let's just say that for the container, and let's say this is a bit hard because we have multiple images in the container and we don't want to target all of them by accident. So let me give this a class of article-main-image, like so that I can target this image. So let's say container-main-image, and then I want to target the img. So let's say, let me try something. So for the hover, and I know this won't work actually, let me just say cursor pointer. This will work for the cursor pointer, but if I try to add a background color, of cyan, then look at this, doesn't happen anymore, right? Now let me see if I can do this, right? So I would need to add another div somewhere inside here, right? So let me add this div inside here, an empty div, okay? And then let's go ahead into this class of main image. So I'm going to remove this. Okay, so I'm targeting the class of main image, like so. And then I'm going to say position this as relative, like so. And then I'm going to say for the container dot main dash image, dash image, and then I want to target the div inside. Then I want to say position this, position absolute with a background color of cyan, so cyan, like so. And then let's set the width to 100%, and the height, let me set this to, is it height 100% as well, or height auto? It confuses me a bit between height 100% and height auto. And then let's say z index, set this to 999 so that it's always on top. And now look at that now. So it's not height 100%. Let me set this to height auto. Now I can't see the div. Now that is actually a bad idea. Let me set the height to 500 pixels first of all. Okay, 500 pixels is right there. Okay, and then let's say, so its position absolute, so let me set it to the top by 0. There we go. Look at that, looking amazing. Now let me test height 100% how it looks. Okay, so height 100% takes up the image only. Okay, and then now what we need to do is we just want the image to be visible. We want the image to be visible when we hover over it, right? So the image, so this background color will need to be cyan, but it would need to be transparent just a bit. So let's copy this, and then let's go here, let's paste this here, and then let's set it to an opacity of 75%. How does that look? Almost there. Let's see, it's almost there. Oh, there's an image in the middle. How did I miss that? So let's set this to height 60, opacity 60, sorry, and the image needs to be in the middle, right? So inside this div, what we're going to do is inside this div, I'm going to add an image, which is ./images, and it should be icon view. Okay, so it goes there. Okay, and what we can do is, let me go inside the styles. Let me see whether I can do this. Sorry, let me see whether these styles are going to apply. So for the image, let me say display flex, align item center, justify content to the center. Where does that go? Goes nowhere because this is positioned absolute, right? So let me try this once again. So let me say position absolute. Okay, let's set it to the left by 50%. Okay, and then let's set to the top by 50%, which will take it to the center, like so. And then let's reset it, because technically this is to the center, but if you draw a line here and then draw a line here, the center meets right around here. Okay, but you don't want it to be here, instead you want it to be to the perfect center. So we need to reset this by saying transform and translate on the translate by -50% on the x-axis and -50% on the y-axis. And there we go. Now it's perfectly centered, right? Now when we hover over this, we need the cursor to be pointer. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. First of all, I would need this to be display none, right? So it's not going to be visible. And then when you hover over it, so let me copy this, and say for the hover, we just want to say display block. Is that going to work? No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. You know what? Not display none, sorry, but let's say opacity is 0. Okay, and then let's set this to opacity 1. There we go. Would you look at that? And now I don't want this pop-up, so let's first of all let's add a cursor pointer, and then let's add a transition, right? So let's say transition the opacity property by 0.5 seconds, and then let's say is in out, and look at that. Wonderful. Would you look at it? This is looking quite nice. The transition is just a bit slow, so let me set this to 0.3 seconds just to make it just a bit faster. Okay, looking amazing. Now I've just noticed that, notice how the image ends right here, but this background color goes all the way there, right? So there's a bit of like an overlap. So let's try and fix that by going to the height and saying CSS has a function called calculate, right? So we can say calculate 100% of the image minus 10 pixels. Let's see how this looks. That's too big. Let's say minus 4 pixels. Yeah, there we go. So 4 pixels works. And would you look at that, looking amazing. So yeah, this is going to be this project. So what I want to do is now create a GitHub repository, and then we're going to push it to Netlify, and then we're going to submit it. So let's go ahead and let's create a repository called NFT preview card component. So this is going to be the repository in case you want to take a look at it. It's going to be public. Okay, so NFT preview card component. Let me log into Netlify, and then let's copy this, and then let's create our commit. Okay, fantastic. So let's go ahead, let's do this. Okay, so let's say git, let's say git init, let's say git remote, let's say git at all, let's say git commit, and let's say NFT preview card component initial commit. Let's say git remote add origin, and then let's paste in our link, and let's say git push -u origin main. We should push it to the main branch. Okay, so let's reload this and let's see what we have. Okay, so this is going to be our repository, and then let's just log in. This repository is called NFT preview card. So that's a new site from Git. We're going to get it from GitHub. Okay, and it's called NFT preview. Okay, and then we're going to select this repository, and then let's just say deploy, which is deploy site. Okay, as that loads, let me go into Frontend Mentor. Let me change this site name first of all. So change this site name to TSB Designs. Let's say NFT preview. Okay, and the site should be live. There we go. Would you look at that, looking amazing. Within seconds we have our live site. So let's go ahead and let's say submit solution. So repository URL, live URL. So this is the live URL. The repository URL is this right here. So paste this in, and then let's say NFT preview card component. Let's say mobile first. There we go. Okay, and we have this, and we can say submit solution, and let's see whether it works. Okay, would you look at that? So we have that, we have submitted our solution. We can view our solution, we can preview the site, or we can go to the repository, and it is looking amazing. Let's see how accurate we got. Oops, not so accurate, but hey, it works. Ours is just a bit bigger, but it looks nice as well. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.